Hi, Dave Anderson here at the Camera Company. Today we're going to talk about the Lightroom Adjustment Brush. In my opinion, I think the Adjustment Brush is one of the most powerful tools Lightroom has to offer because it allows you to put adjustments to your image exactly where you want them without impacting any other area of the image. So for example, in this particular scene of a schoolhouse out on the prairie, I used matrix metering, and the matrix metering took into consideration all the light coming into the lens, and because the meter was overpowered by the sky, it actually underexposed my image, making my schoolhouse a little bit on the gray side. So we're going to use the adjustment brush to fix this. Let me show you how to do that. First off, the adjustment brush is located in the right-hand tool panel of the Develop module on the same line that you have your crop tool, your clone and heal tool, your red eye, your gradient tool, and your radial gradient tool. We have then the adjustment brush. And when we click on the adjustment brush, you see you get a whole list of options that the adjustment brush will do for you. You can change your color temperature, exposure, you can impact highlights, shadows, the clarity of an image, sharpness, and so on. You also get to choose the size of brush you want to use. And down here in the bottom, I have selected brush A, and it is a size of roughly a 14.7 according to our little slider here, with a little bit of feathering out the outside edges, and I'm using the auto mask. Now the auto mask feature is great because it's going to allow me to paint in my adjustment just on the schoolhouse without bleeding over into the sky or into my grassy foreground. To see where we're painting in, we turn on the Show Selected Mask Overlay, and you will see that as I paint, that auto mask finds the edges of the image and contains the mask just into the schoolhouse area. With a little practice, you'll get good at using the auto mask. So I've just cleaned or painted in the schoolhouse, and now we're going to turn off the Show Selected Mask Overlay, and now we can see exactly what impact our exposure adjustment is going to have. I'm going to increase my exposure, adding about 1 3/4 stops. And you can see what we've done is we've brightened the schoolhouse up without impacting our sky or our foreground. Again, I can show the selected mask overlay so you can see where the impact is of the adjustment, and it's not touching anything else. I click Done, and the adjustment brush has done its job by masking just the schoolhouse. Let's take a look at a comparison of before and after. It's quite a difference. But let's not stop here. Let's do some more adjustments. Let's work on the sky and the foreground. So I'll go back to a full-size image. I'll open up my adjustment tool again, my adjustment brush. I'm going to select a new brush, and I'm going to say Show the Masked Overlay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to paint in our sky. And you can see I'm going around the outside roof of the schoolhouse here and down the back side of the schoolhouse. I'm going to come over here and do the ground. And now I'm going to turn off that auto mask. You can see that it's seeing the edge, the bright edge of that cloud and not allowing the mask to cover it. So by turning off the auto mask and being very careful here, we can now paint in the rest of our sky and make sure that our adjustment will cover the whole sky and not leave any blotchy spots for us. So we're almost done filling this in. Fill in this side. And you'll note that on the right-hand side over by the schoolhouse, I went down a little too far and got into the grass. If that happens, it's very easy. You have an erase tool. You select the erase down here on the bottom right, and now you can go in and erase that area without undoing all the other work you've done. I also got a little bit up here on the roof of the schoolhouse, so let's take that off the roof, clean that up a little bit, and here at the back corner. Now that we have that done, let's turn off our overlay mask and come in and make our adjustment. Well, first I think I'd like to make the sky a little bit darker, make it a little more ominous, add a little more contrast. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a exposure adjustment. And now the other thing we can do is let's take a look at what happens if we were to adjust our color temperature. I can make those clouds much bluer, or I can make them much warmer. I like it when they go a little bit warmer. So let's just add a little bit of warmth to the clouds. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, let's call that done. And now let's look at our two images before and after. Quite a difference. And finally, let's add one more adjustment brush to the foreground. I'll select another new brush. I want to put on my auto mask. And I'm going to come down here and let's turn on so we can see where our mask is at. I'm going to come down here and run across the foreground, creating a third mask. Let's turn it off so that we can see what adjustment is being done. I'm going to darken my foreground a little bit, making a little bit of an exposure adjustment. Plus, I'm going to use my clarity slider, and I'm going to take a little bit out of focus. It was too focused. I want it to be a little softer. Now you'll note that we have 3 pins here. They're called edit pins. And this one that has the black center means that that's the active edit. So if I hover over it, it'll show me the mask of where my adjustment is being made. If I'd hover over this pin, you can see it's the sky, and this pin now is the schoolhouse. Let's say I want to adjust my sky a little bit more. I can click on that pin, and then it gives me the ability to come back in and like fill in this edge that I missed a little bit here. My brush will fill that in. And then I can also come up and make an additional adjustment. I'm going to make that sky just a little warmer, and I'm going to just make it just a hair darker. When we're done making our adjustments, we select Done. And now let's compare. Let's go to a side by side. Let's compare our before and after image. Let's do it in a little bit larger size here. This is after, and this is before. So we've made quite a difference to this image by using the adjustment brush and painting in our adjustments to just specific areas of the photo. The adjustment brush is a very, very versatile tool. It's one that with practice, you can do all sorts of amazing things to take an okay picture and turn it into a spectacular picture. And I encourage you to try it. Again, everything you do in Lightroom is non-destructive, so the worst that can happen is that you don't like something and you reset your picture and start again. I hope you found this tip helpful. If so, please follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch for us on Instagram and Twitter, and we will see you on the next video.